Hey guys, Coach Rob coming at you from the garage gym. We're going to start today off with checking in on WODify. Got some shout outs going on. Yesterday was a super fun one. Really fast paced and fast transitions, low reps, pedal to the metal. Let's see what happened here. We had Lindsay and Coach Kate, looks like Andrea, Dottie, and Jahili all checking in and letting us know how they did with their workout. And for the guys, looks like Rich, familiar face, always seeing you up on the board. Good work there. And looks like Coach Sean checked in on that too and throwing up those push presses. I like it. I like it a lot. Good job, guys. Thanks for checking into WODify. I like to see that you're doing the work there. All right, guys, let's check out what we got going on for today. Wednesday, hump day. Welcome to leg day. I know we say every day is leg day, but today we really truly mean it. Today is leg day. Get ready. We got some fun going on here. So let's talk about this. First workout, we're going for 4 rounds. All right, got a couple of different movements in here. We're gonna go through some skaters. Now with the skaters, we're jumping side to side. We're working on balance, stability, and agility. And the point of this skater in this movement is we're going for distance. So we wanna see you traveling from side to side. All right, that's something we're certainly gonna be looking for. Then we're going into the jumping lunge. So same mechanics as an air squat, or I'm sorry, same mechanics as a normal lunge, looking for those 90-degree angles in the ankle, knee, and hip, keeping that chest nice and tall, coming on down and driving through the heel on the way back up. This time, we're gonna drive with a lot more effort. We're gonna come up off the ground, jumping, lifting off the ground, and switching, landing back in a lunge position with the opposite legs. So we're gonna alternate back and forth, going for 12 reps. And then we're moving into the jumping squats, where the mechanics are the same as the air squat, just this time we have an explosive movement coming up out of the hole, coming off the ground, landing nice and soft, and then back into the air squat motion. So it's 12 reps on each particular one of these movements in this triplet that we have here. But what we're doing here, just a little bit different today. We're gonna take a full rest after each round of these 3 movements. Now we wanna make sure that we go ahead and we take this full 1 to 2 minutes rest. We wanna reset, because what we're doing here is through these 4 rounds, we're gonna score our slowest round, all right? So you wanna give it all you got every single round. Make sure that you're utilizing that rest. Allow yourself to reset. I think round 1 is a good opportunity to see just what this has got in store for you and how it's gonna feel, and then use rounds 2, 3, and 4 to really turn it on and see what you got in the tank. And then we're gonna go ahead and keep track, and we're gonna score our slowest round that we have here. For our second workout of the day, we see the return of the lungester. I'm sure you guys remember the lungester on the last time that it came around. We're doing a combination of a front rack lunge on each leg, finished with a thruster motion. So we're gonna go through 6 rounds in this AMRAP, as many rounds and reps as possible in this particular application. So we're going for 6 rounds. We're gonna do 6 lungesters. We're gonna go through 9 devil's presses, and then we're gonna go through 12 alternated weighted step-ups. And we'll go through these movements individually and remind you of a couple points performance and things, tips and tricks to look for as we go through. But again, we're gonna wanna use our smart WOD timer so that we can keep track of what's going on. We're going to keep track of rounds and reps. So we're going for a total of 6 rounds. We want to do 6 reps for the lungesters. Again, that is a front rack lunge on each leg, reverse lunge, and then we're going into 9 devil's press and 12 weighted alternating step-ups. Okay guys, let's run through all the different individual movements, equipment, and scaling options that are available for you today. All right, so first one's skaters, jumping lunges, and jumping squats. The only thing that we're really needing other than ourselves is some open space to move around in. So really no big deal, not a whole lot of equipment needed there in that application. Some scaling options though, for skaters, jumping side to side. If the jumping and landing side to side needs to be scaled for you, then let's take this into a side step with or without a band. right? So we're gonna take that band and we're just gonna have that band up above the knees, and we're gonna go into a slight squat type position, kicking those hips back, and we're gonna walk side to side with that, that stepping motion, taking say 3 to 4 steps to the left and then moving 3 to 4 steps to the right. Get with your individual coaches for any other additional scaling options when it comes down to that, or maybe a little bit more clarification if needed. Your jumping lunges, we can scale that into just a regular lunge or no jump. And same with the jumping squats. We can turn that into a regular air squat, or we can scale to depth where we're at for mobility and range of motion wise as well. When it comes to the lunster, okay, some equipment that we can use, we can go all over the board with this. We can use a barbell and plates, we can use kettlebells, dumbbells, sandbag, backpack, plate, or a wall ball. Essentially anything that we can get into a front rack position and press up overhead. Scaling options for this, clearly we can cut back on the weight and we can cut back on the reps as well. We can even go into a no weighted situation to where you are holding your hands up overhead and going through your lunges and a press motion if need be. Devil's press, again, dumbbells, kettlebells, plate, wall ball, or weighted backpack, anything that we can use like a kettlebell in a swinging motion so that when we're coming up out of that burpee, we can still take and get that weight up overhead into that motion. We can scale weight reps, and we can also scale down to doing just burpees, or we can scale to doing up downs if going all the way to the floor is a limiting factor for us. And last but certainly not least, the weighted step-ups. All right, we're gonna need a box bench, a cooler, any type of ledge surface that we can step up onto that will support our weight. And for the weighted portion of it, kettlebells, dumbbells, a plate, a weighted backpack, a weighted vest, anything that can bring the weight resistance to the table for getting up onto that ledge, whatever it is that we're stepping up onto. Scaling options for this, we can scale our weight, we can scale the height of the ledge that we're stepping up onto, we can scale the reps that we're doing. We can also change this into a lunge through. Rather than doing this step up motion, we can do a forward lunge and then do a reverse lunge on each leg. So you do a forward lunge on the right, reverse lunge on the right, and then switch that to the left side. Or we can step this down into regular lunges. You pick forward or reverse. So we've got lots of different scaling options for you. Now I'm gonna go through and go through some points performance with some different equipment type options that we have available. All right, guys, let's go through these different movements and some techniques and points of performance. First move of the day that we're going through is the skater. So it's a side-to-side type movement. Kind of reminds me of doing a curtsy, if you will. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna start, and as we move over to the right-hand side, we're gonna jump, we're gonna land on that right foot, bringing the left foot behind us, putting it down on the ground, putting the ball of your foot or the toe on the ground, and then coming down, touching the ground with the left hand. And then we jump to the opposite side and then come across. Now remember, with this, we're going for distance, so we want to make it count. You want to get up, leave the ground, land, come down, and touch. We're going to go through that for, I believe it was 12 reps. Then we're going into a jumping lunge. Now, our points of performance on a lunge don't change. We just have a more explosive movement as we're coming up from the bottom of the lunge. So when we come on down, we come into the lunge. We want to make sure that we have that 90-degree bend in the ankle, the knee, and the hip. We're here. The only difference is now when we drive, we're going to explode up and land in the opposite lunge position. So we're going to go through this motion just like this for 12 reps. Then we're going to go into that jumping squat. So just like a normal air squat, we have the feet below the hips, toes slightly canted out. As we come through, the hips come back first. We track those knees wide over the toes, keeping your chest tall. If you've got a logo on your t-shirt, then we want to be able to read it the whole way down. So we're down, and we explode up. And then we come back down, and explode up. So you're gonna go through that for 12 reps. That takes care of your movements for the first workout. Second workout that we have going on, I apologize, give me a second, guys. There we go. Oh, we see the return of the lunge stir. Okay, so a couple things I want to go through here. With the lunge stir, we can use a wide array of different types of equipment. If all we have to work with is a plate, no big deal. We have our plate. We're just going to hold our plate in the front rack position, so hold it up nice and high. As we come back, we're going to lunge, switch legs, lunge again, then we're going to come down into that front squat, and then as we come up, we're going to press up overhead. A couple of key things when you're pressing up overhead, make sure that everything is stacked in a row. Wrists, elbows, shoulders stacked directly above the hips, knees, and ankles. So run through those motions. That's your plate. If we have a sandbag, we can use a sandbag to do this. So good proper form when we're cleaning. Bring it up into the front rack. Lunge, lunge, thruster. There we go. All right, if we're using dumbbells, no different here. We've done this before. Front rack position, lunge, lunge, front squat, and press up overhead. All right, and this one might be a little bit new to you, but if you don't have a barbell and you've been wanting to do a little bit of barbell work, here's one to kind of create a barbell scenario at home. We've all got a backpack laying around. We've got a backpack, we throw some weight in it. What I've done is I've used the straps that are on the backpack to tie everything down together nice and tight. And I got a broomstick right here, just a regular, ordinary broomstick off of my push broom in the garage. I'm gonna slide this through on the side here using the straps that I have. And now what I've done is I've created myself a weighted broomstick, if you will, so that I can go through and use it as a barbell. So if I was going to use this for the lunge stirs, I would start in my regular starting position like I was going to clean the barbell. I'd bring it up into the front rack here, and then I would step back into that first lunge, second lunge, into that front squat, and then press up overhead. Key tip here, turn the backpack sideways when you're strapping this. If you have the backpack vertically, it might be a little bit too long and you might have the backpack tag you right in the face as you come up overhead. So you can do any one of those options, use any equipment necessary for the lunge stirs, then you're moving into the devil's press. Now with the devil's press, if we're using the backpack and the broomstick, all we do is simply remove the broomstick from the equation, right? And since it's the devil's press, we're here, we're just gonna come down to that burpee, down to the floor, grab that backpack, bring it up, overhead, and back down to the floor. Same goes with your dumbbells, your weighted sandbag, or your plate. A couple of key tips on the devil's press. When we come down into that burpee, we want to go all the way down to the floor. If you're using any kind of dumbbells or anything like that, we want to move them out wide enough that we can get our chest down to the floor. Then as we come back up, jump your feet just behind your hands. That way when you grab that weight, you can get that natural swing coming back and engage those hips to bring that weight up overhead, just like you would a full kettlebell swing. Then we go into the weighted alternating step up. So I'm going to grab this bench here. And with the bench, if I'm using a backpack, just like I was before, I can go ahead and I can grab the backpack and just hold it right in front of me in the front rack position. Dumbbells I would hold to the side like a suitcase carry, and same goes with really anything else. But hold it here in the front rack position, we can step, make sure that we get the whole foot on whatever ledge that it is that we're stepping up onto, drive from the heel, step up into full hip extension, and then with the same foot that you stepped up with, you're gonna go ahead and step down with. That way, the second foot that comes down touches and goes right back up, and this will allow you to alternate your weighted step-ups as you go through, just like this. All right, guys, that's what I got for you today. Hopefully you've enjoyed. Reach out to your coaches for any individual questions. Have fun, log into Wodify, and we'll see you next time.